DC Boxing Legend Podcast. 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 Home of the champions.
Welcome to DC Boxing Legends, past and present. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have another special guest. Our guest is coming in. His name is Ben, no doubt, Mcdowell. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause to Benjamin Mcdowell. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, brother, what's going on with you, right?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. So, what's going on with you, buddy?
Oh, man, everything good. Slim just trying to get through this pandemic. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Light 'em up.
Like everybody else, right?
Yeah, trying to get through this pandemic, Slim.
Right. Hey, look, so I know if you've heard any of the other podcasts, you know what's about to go down, man. What we're going to do is basically, man, I want to reintroduce you to the world, man. A lot of people don't know how much talent came from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And hey, your name is legend. And wow. And I want to make sure that, you know, folks know who you are, man, and some of the outstanding accomplishments that you've done, not just as a fighter, but as a man in the community, man, somebody who you can look up to. So without any, further ado, tell us about you. How did you get into boxing, man?
I was always good because we was born over Capers, southeast over by the Navy Yard. So I always could fight. We always could fight. Everybody around there was good at fighting. So I just intuited that. It started, I intuited that when I moved to Maryland. And we used to always fight all the time. And I guess Coach McCann saw me fight one day in the street, so called me up to the gym. So once I got up in the gym, that's how I started. He came looking for me. Wow.
So McCann was out there in the streets looking for talent.
Yeah, he was just driving. He heard I could fight. So I used to always run all the time anyway. So he seen me one day, told me come up to the gym, and that's how it all started.
Yo, that's funny, man. So when you came into boxing, you ran into the legendary Coach McCann, huh?
Yeah, that's my man. Rest in peace. He tried to give me, before he died, he wanted me to give him all the stuff that I did. He was trying to get me in the Hall of Fame.
Hey, man, you already in the Hall of Fame. That's one of the reasons why we got you on this podcast right now, man. Because once you enter a barbershop conversation, you are officially legendary.
Wow. That's crazy. I'll be in the barbershop, huh?
Yeah, man, you be in the barbershop, man. Again, a lot of folks don't know, man. And so sometimes you gotta school them, man. They don't know about this talent. I just had a young lady on the last podcast, and she should be airing tonight. Is Sweet Kia Coffin. She's got two-time national champion, the first female and the youngest female national champion. So a lot of people didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people know. And now I'm about to tell them about my man Benjamin Mcdowell. Okay. So when you first came in, what weight class did you debut in as an amateur?
156 pounds.
Yo, say
56. How many fights did you have?
I think I had about how many fights I had? I had like about 7 or 8, maybe 9 before I left and went in the military.
Oh wow! So when you in the military, what did you go for?
I went in for field artillery, but I knew when I was going in there what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to box. You feel me?
Yeah.
So what I did once I went in, I went to Germany, and we started a little program over there. And what happened was they got one channel over there called AFN. And that's the Air Force channel. Yeah. And I had a buddy named Tracy Lundy from DC. His brother named Brian Lundy, who boxed on a 92. Was the 92 team? Mm-hmm. I think it was the 92 team he was on. Brian London, and he was up at he was up at when you do the paper, when you do all the I forgot what it's called, but anyway, he worked for them, and somehow he was able to take that fight. And after he take that fight, in our fight, I caught dude where he staggered, and that's what they showed. And after that day, I've been boxing the whole time in Germany. People don't know, when I was in Germany, I was number one there I was number one on a USHRA, a European Military League, and I was number one on a Bundesliga. I was fighting for them on the weekend, so not only was I number one on a USHRA, but I was number one on the Bundesliga. I had a buddy who got married to a European. He ran to the barracks with a German paper and say, Slim, you know you big over here? I said, oh no. He said, look, show me the paper. I said, I got the paper to this day. I said how big I was, and they was trying to get me to stay over there, Slim. I would have been paid if I'd have stayed, but I was ready to leave. I was over there for 2 years. You know, I got miss home. You know how that is.
Yeah. I already know. See, people, they don't believe me when I tell them, man, my block was hot. When I say my block was hot, it was so much talent in my neighborhood.
Yes,
I'm trying to tell y'all,
yes.
Ben was around the corner from me. He was walking distance. And when I say around the corner, I ain't talking about a mile away. I'm talking less than a quarter of a mile. I mean, I'm talking like he's probably 8 or 9 houses down the street, up and around the corner.
Yes.
And so here it is. You have this gentleman. He's gonna go through all his stats. I don't want to spoil it because again, I told y'all I try to fight being a fan, but I'm gonna interview him as best I can without getting too excited and spoiling his moment.
That's all good.
You're gonna hear about how great he was, but keep in mind now, he lived around the corner from me. He had the Hall of Fame, Julian Peterson. I played football with him, and he was in the neighborhood. We played this neighborhood all the time. All right. And all of these other champions walking around the gym, like Gary Russell Jr., you got Lamont Peterson, you got Anthony Peterson. So all these guys are all in the same melting pot. So go ahead and tell us about your after your 7 fights as a at 156, and you move up in weight, and how did that affect you?
Well, it kind of slowed me down because once I got the heavyweight, I put so much mass on, and it was more muscle than anything. I just probably needed a coach to slow me down. I never had a coach really look, you got to slow down because you're not 156, you're not 165. And I couldn't never really settle into 78 because I always felt like I was at 65 middleweight trying to keep up with that speed, and that always tired me out, and I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to fight 165, 156, but I'm fighting 78. It's more heavier. So my punches, I'm throwing faster, but I needed to slow down a lot because I can hit harder without so much speed. Still had a speed, but slow the speed down. But I found myself tying myself out, and I didn't have a good trainer to tell me, look, you don't have to fight like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I always start off. I try to keep my interviews a little spicy, so I always start with I heard a rumor. So apparently, man, I got a soft heart for my southpaws out here.
Right.
You are not a true southpaw. I heard you was a converted southpaw.
Yes, I converted over, Slim. You know what I'm saying? I should have stayed where I was at.
But you did it like some of the best out there, right?
Yeah, I did. Everybody tell me that, dang, man, you converted. I say, yeah, but, at a certain point, because I turned pro and went 12-0. But, I hear all of them tell me, look, man, I don't know how you did it. Fight 12 fights, fighting amateur. I don't know how I did it either, but I didn't like it. And I said, it's about time for me to let it go because I felt like I wasn't giving them what they really wanted. If I would have changed over back to orthodox, I really would have gave them what they wanted. I really would have been what I really needed to be. But because I didn't convert back over, by the time I turned pro, it's about power when it's pro. Amateur speed. So I could speed, do a lot, a lot of speed without knocking somebody out, because in amateur, as you start fighting international, it's real hard. Every punch you throw, you got to throw it to pop their head back. Because if you don't, if you look at my Goodwill fight, you'll see all the punches I threw, only 5 landed. And I'm like, wow, this is going to be a long tournament.
But let me tell you something, man. I knew you was controlling folks too well with that jab. I knew something was up. I knew
that
something
jab
was up.
Vicious, that,
man, that jab like Cotto, that hook like chop. Yeah. I saw the way you was throwing. I knew something wasn't right. I said, man, that's his power hand right there.
Yeah, and I'm using it for my jab, but I needed to go. You see what I'm saying? But it worked for a while. But after a while, like I say,
it worked.
After a while, they're gonna catch up with it. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? As fighters, man, one of the thing about being a fighter is, you know, styles dictate fights. You know,
always.
And you ain't necessarily got to be a power puncher. You know, like I said, man, I lost to some guys, man. I tell you, I'm not gonna say Zaire Rahim hit like a butterfly. I'm just saying it wasn't that hard. But it wasn't about how hard he could hit. He was very athletic. He had way more flexibility, so gave me all kinds of problems because, you know, I'm all set for a guy who has a little bit of pop and a little bit of power, and you run into those guys like yourself who are switch hitters. They can change the tempo and turn it into a shootout. And sometimes having 5 bombs is not at your advantage when you find somebody who has 157 bullets. So they lighten you up, and all you got is 5 bombs and you done. So but tell us about some of your significant accomplishments.
Well, I think my significance is being ranked number 1 in the nation, number 1 in the world. You know what I'm saying? After I won the Goodwill Games, that ranked me number 1. Then I was already number 1 in the nation. You know what I'm saying? I won a nationals. That's how I became Boxer of the Year. You know, Boxer of the Year. I won a national. I won 2 Olympic festivals.
Slow that down. Hold up. Slow that. Man, we got plenty of time. So you was number 1 in the nation.
Yes.
Number 1 in the world.
Yes.
Boxer of the Year.
Yes.
Man, go ahead. Keep talking.
Olympic festivals. I mean, I won Olympic festivals 2 years in a row. I think I won it. I won in 90. I think I won in 93 and 95.
Oh my gosh! What else you win? I almost told on myself. Go ahead.
I mean, military wise, in the service, I was number 1. I was ranked number 1 in the military. On the military, all army. I won all army in the service. I won that 2 or 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Right. My people don't know my first year at all army. I got stopped. Don't nobody talk about it because, you know, it's high altitude. And I was coming from Europe. So the guy fought named Simpkins, I used to see him fight over Europe. And he'll wait you out. He'll wait you out to that last round. That's when he pick it up. And I knew that, but I forgot. But I beat him every round. And he didn't drop me nothing. They just stopped the fight because I ain't had nothing left. Don't you know that next year, Slim, when me and him sparred again the next year, Slim, I punished him. He asked the coach, can he get out the ring? You feel me? I said, I'm going to get this dude. I'm going to spar him and show this dude and that he ain't beat me. He knew. He even said, I tied out because he was stationed there. So he was used to the altitude. I wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man, that next year I came back. That's the 94. My 94 year, that's when I came back, won all army, won in the service. Well, I went to the Coca-Cola box office, won that, went to the Goodwill Games, I won that. Then I won the Olympic Festival. That whole year, that's how they made me Boxer of the Year. That whole year, I didn't lose a fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say, man, you went on a tear.
I was on a tear because I was on a tear, Slim. When I came from Europe, after I lost that year, all army, I went to Fort Bragg. I never got the end process, Slim. I went straight to the boxing bars. When I went to re-enlist after 2 years, they said, you're not even in our system. So that lets you know, I went there straight to the boxing bars, Slim. And that's how I never went in process. That's crazy.
Let me tell you something. When you talk about a good dude, I'm listening to your accomplishments, which are, second to none, right? I'm also hearing, just even in your character, you just sound like just a giving person. I'm going to take you back, because I don't know if you remember this, but you ran across this skinny kid, and I think I was walking up Bell Book Street, the legendary Bell Book Street,
I remember you,
And
Slim.
I saw you with a head, man. I ain't had no money for boxing gear. And then you said, "Hey, little man, come here for a minute." And I said, "Huh?" He said, "You want this head gear?" I said, "What? That's good." But, you know, I was I was probably 112 pounds, man. I was so happy that I got that head gear, man. It was my prized possession, man. I wore it until I just couldn't wear it no more, man. It was a USA headgear, man. And I got big heads, so I stretched that joint, man. I was AKA Charlie Brown back in the day. I was the black Charlie Brown.
That's right, Slim. That's right. You all good. You was a good dude. I look at you, I was like, man, this dude one box. He a good dude, man. He don't look like he no fighter, but hell, you can't sleep on them, huh?
Nah, you can't see, but fighters don't never. I tell you what, fighters never look like fighters. I never seen a fighter who actually looked like a fighter.
Right, I got you. I remember that though.
The ones are the easy ones. I know, right?
I used to always give. You remember? You know Keith Harris, right?
I know Keith Harris.
I gave him shoes, gloves. He'll tell you. I gave him everything.
Man,
and they got him in the Hall of Fame.
Where'd you get that from, man? That giving side, man.
When I go to National, they give you gloves, they give you stuff. Even at my gym, they give me stuff. So I always say that with anything that I get, I'm gonna give away to others who want a box. So I always had that in my mind anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you was getting enough free stuff because you was racking up all them wins.
Right. So even my Goodwill Games medal, I gave it to one of my buddies. I let people cherish it more than me because I don't want to make nothing an idol. I don't have trophies. People got trophies in their barbershops. Everybody else got my accomplishments. I don't have nothing but my picture of my top general, top sergeant major Pentagon, and my Box of the Year award. That's probably all I got. Probably little other things, but everything else, everybody else got. You feel me?
Wow.
I did it for the people.
What's up, man.
Yeah, I did it for. I don't have no. Everybody got all my accomplishments. I have nothing.
Straight up people's champ, man. I started looking at your Facebook page, man. I said, man, this dude up in here with the likes of Roy Jones, Antonio Tarver. Yeah. I mean, you was throwing some lever, clearly.
Yeah, but I know, but my mother had me in the church. You know, I was in the church. So I've always been humble. I've always looked at this world as just illusion and just try to get through. Just try to get through it without tarnishing who I am, my character. You know, just try to get through it in a positive light, in a positive way, you know, how I deal with people every day, the things that I do, you know what I'm saying? So I was always open to being humble. And when I won stuff and people say, oh, you this, you that, nah, Slim, I'm just being, you know what I'm saying? I'm just doing something, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing my gift and I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability till I get to the point where I don't wanna do it no more. Cause you know, you do it to a point when money get involved, that's when people start exploiting you. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about that, man. Talk about that exploiting, because you seem to be immune to that, man.
Yeah, man. People, I mean, when you're a good person, man, you know, you got that heart. You know, you're gonna always draw people. You know what I'm saying? I happen to sign with Dennis Rappaport. I don't know if you know him.
Dennis Rappaport.
He had Jerry Cooney.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I don't know if you know Jerry Cooney.
I know Jerry Cooney. I heard of Jerry.
Yeah, heavyweight, but he was his promoter manager. A lot of people in the game know Dennis Rappaport. So he was my promoter manager. Good dude. Anytime I need him, he was there for me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you get to a point where I think my last fight I caught a dude and I think I hit him with an uppercut and his eyes rolled back in his head. I said, this my last fight right here. I thought I killed him. You feel me?
Wow.
So that's how I ended. I think I was in New York. I fought a dude, and then after I talked to him, he was like, "Man, it's just a hobby. My wife and kids wait for me. You know what I'm saying? To come home. I think I gave him an extra $100, man, out of my purse." And I was like, "Man, if I'd have killed this dude that night, he wouldn't have went home to his peoples, man. That shit got to me. You know what I'm saying?"
Yeah. It's always something that gets to a fighter, man. Like I said, I never forget. What made me walk away from the sport, you know, and you know, lightweights. It used to be a time when lightweight was safe to,
no doubt,
safe weight class to be in, where you ain't gonna get your brain scrambled. But you know, you got cats now, man. I don't know what's going on, what they putting in the water, because they hit as hard as heavyweights. You know, and
they hit.
Yeah, I fought a guy. He gave me a concussion, and I walked away after that, man.
For real,
I kind of walked away, but I fought for the Army. I did like 10. I went 10-0 when I was overseas in Iraq.
Okay. You was over there.
Don King bought a gym over a boxing ring over there, and we fought in Saudi Arabia's like the Olympic.
Oh, I ain't know that, Slim. I ain't know that.
Yeah. Miss America gave me. I got a gold medal. I won the. They had like a middleweight tournament.
Right.
And I got that on video. That's all I needed, and I can retire.
Were you serving the Army?
I was in the Army. Yes, I was in the Army.
So when you was in the Army, what year was you in the Army?
So I went into the Army in '95, and I got out.
Okay, so you should have been hearing about me the whole time.
I was hearing about you. That's what I'm saying. I was hearing about. Well, I was hearing about you more. I knew about you before I even got in the Army.
Right.
Like I said,
you knew that. Yeah.
It was like when I was coming in. They was like everybody's talking about Benjamin Mcdowell. I said remember Coach Browner and McCann. They were. I mean, even though they were kind of competitive, they had that little competitiveness as coaches. They still talked, and Tom used to always have stories about you, man. You know, and I was like, you talking about that tall, dark-skinned dude that up the street from me? That's my neighbor. He's like my neighbor. They were like, Ben, he a bad boy. They was talking about all your decorations and how you was fighter of the year and all that. I was like, get out of here, man. I just walked past the dude, man. Dude, just as humble as can be. And I wasn't saying he was humble back then. I was just saying, oh, he's a nice guy, man. Get out of here. He's not
right.
him. I'm like, that guy. He said, yeah, you gotta see him. You gotta see him. But I was too young to travel and see you fight. But again, I heard of you. You were like, you know, urban legend kind of. You know, everybody talking.
Wow. And
So
I never felt none of that. I never got off into that type of ego. You feel me?
Yeah, well, I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing, man. It's good to be remembered, and you know, like I always say, man, your legacy at the end of the day is what matters. Once all of this stuff goes away, you know, it's good to hear that people remember you, and that's one of the reasons why Rashid and I decided to do this podcast, because we really wanted to give back. It's nothing like being recognized amongst soldiers,
no doubt,
amongst dogs, amongst like anybody who's just like a fan can say, "Oh, Ray, I remember you," but it's different when somebody who's bled in the ring and they want to take a moment to put a spotlight on you and say, "Yo, this guy right here was a bad boy." You had to see him, you know. So, man, I appreciate you, and I appreciate everything you've done for the sport, and just showing us as young black men that there's other things you can do, and you know, not get in trouble. I mean, you gotta remember, man, you were coming up in the same time we were coming up in the 90s, you know. Yeah. And it was rough in the 90s when you. It was
rough, you know. When it kicked off, I was gone. It ain't kick off till I left. When I left, they said Big Mo was killing like on. I said, for real, Slim, when you was here, there wasn't nothing that shit going on. Cause see, when we used to go to different places, you know, different clubs, you know, different places, if they got ready to fight, they would always come to me. Even in school, mother would come to my class, "Bam, I'm getting ready, somebody get ready to jump." I had to go in. I always was the one broke up the fights in school. Till one day the principal recognized and got on the mic and told everybody, "We like to thank Benjamin Mcdowell for keeping the fights down in the school." I guess somebody told him I keep the fights down. You feel me?
Oh my goodness, man! You was like Paulie or something.
Yeah, I was always the person they come to when they get ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? Then when I go down there and say, "Who fighting?" If anybody gonna fight, I'm gonna fight. And once I say that, they go they ways, man. You feel me?
That's what's up, man. That is what's up.
So I wasn't never about been bullying nobody. If anything, I went for the bullies, Slim. I ain't let nobody bully the ones that can't really fight, or you know, the ones that really can't. I'm not gonna let them. So I always was the ones that beat up the bullies. You know what I'm saying? That's
what's up, man. Let me get some of your fighter expertise now. So we got upcoming. I think it's this weekend, right? Who you got? Lomo or Teofimo?
I ain't really. I gotta check that out. I have to check them too. I haven't looked at boxing that much like I used to. You know what I'm saying? Once
Get
I got
out of here, man. That's
for
crazy,
real. Once I got out the game, so I left it alone. I might look at certain fights here and there, but as far as really going into it like I used to, it's crazy. But the thing about it is, I don't think I took it for granted. I just didn't think that I could have worked more harder. I could have did more. And see me, if me looking back at boxing and look at today, if I were to train a guy, you looking at him, you wouldn't see the same dimensions on both sides of his body. His right, the right hand which is his power hand. I'm gonna work. That's going to go on weights. I'm gonna put that on weights. But the left hand, I'm gonna condition on a bag for speed. So when you see my boxing, one side gonna be big and one side gonna be small. That's gonna be my boxing. That's the type of box I want. Because if you got that jab conditioned enough where it just keep on going. When I be seeing guys box, I'm gonna tell you what happened. When I start seeing guys boxing, they wouldn't stop using their jab. That's when I stopped looking at. You feel me?
Wow, man, you're a true.
Because a lot of boxers don't use their jab. Your jab is, man, the key to everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had Kelvin, my coach, he used to say, he said, listen, man, the jab is the most powerful weapon in boxing.
Oh my God.
And let me tell you something, I never thought that. I always thought that, man, that's just for somebody I can't hit. Until I fought this guy. I don't know his name, but I'll always remember his face. Yeah, I remember. I think he used to be a boxer, and I think Barry Hunter knows the guy because I sparred him. I want to say it was over there near Randall's, Southwest. Man, this dude.
Yeah, man, I know where you at.
This dude had a lightning quick jab. I mean, I never saw it until he was pulling it back. And
that's what my man used to say. I forgot. You know what I'm talking about. He a coach now. Is it Andre?
Oh.
Andre, he a coach now. When he saw me one, they said, man, people don't know you got the best jab in the business, Slim. I tells people, but I say, for real? I said, Slim, your jab was, I tells people, I just see you spar so I know. You know what I'm saying? I say, wow. I said, Slim, I ain't never seen nobody jab like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, jab can control a fight.
You got people like Ike Cote, he had a good jab.
Oh man, that's the bazooka jab, man. He could destroy you with the jab.
Yeah, his jab was vicious, man. He had a vicious jab.
It was a punishing jab. Yeah, it was one of those.
And I think he converted too. That's why he could use it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, I think he converted because anytime that you using a jab like that without thinking, that's your right hand. That's the hand you right with all the time. But the one that you don't think with, that's the one you're not gonna really use in the ring. You gotta condition yourself to look, you gotta go. And I never got to that point in my career where that left, look, I gotta force you to go. I never put the force on my left hand like I should've. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because once you convert, you gotta really get into your left side. You really gotta come ambidextrous. You really gotta get into your left side of your brain. I mean, your left is working your right. So you really gotta get into your right side of your brain when you're using your left. And I never took that time really to get into it like I wanted to. Because I think boxing about pedigree. I think, like Mayweather, when I used to talk to Mayweather at camp and all that, he used to say, man, you good. I was like, but you're going to be better because you're in a pedigree of fighters. Your whole family is fighters. Your two uncles was a champ. Your father, he was a fighter. So you're going to be the perfect. You're going to be the perfect. You're going to perfect everything that they did. You're going to be the perfect fighter in the pedigree of fighters. So that's why Mayweather is great as he is, because he's a pedigree. He has everybody in his family who is fighting.
Yeah.
I had no one. So I'm doing it straight from the ground up. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something. I think, me personally, I just think greatness is defined by your impact on other people. And you are, like I told Kia, man, you're a titan. You're a giant amongst men. I'm fortunate to have met you. And
man, you humbled me, man.
Had an opportunity to, nobody can ever say, and I'm sure it's not a lot of people can say, well, as given as you were, it probably is, to say, oh, I had Benjamin McDowell's headgear. Yeah,
right.
I was there. Hey, that was like giving me Thor's hammer.
Right. I should have signed it. I wish I'd have had a pen or something so I could sign that joke.
Man, I thought, hey, don't worry. I got, so when are you still in the DC area?
Yeah,
Bet, because I got a Muhammad Ali wall that I need your signature on it, man.
You got it.
So I just turned into a fan just now. All right,
I'll make sure that happens.
We got 60 seconds. I want to get one last shout out from you. Anything you want to tell these new fighters coming up in the game that you could probably
tell
give
them
them
work
as
hard at
jewels?
what they do, Slim, and let them know it's not a game. I mean, it's dangerous. You can get hurt. So it's good to train. You know, anybody I fight, I want to fight good fighters that train, that their body ready for it. I don't want nobody that I fight that's body's not ready for it because I'm going to hurt you. So I tell people, if you're going to get into the game, condition your body, train your body, and know that both sides of your body is different. So, like I said, if I would train somebody, they would look the form. The one side will be big and the other side will be small. That's a perfect body. That jab is going to constantly be on the move because I condition it to keep on going. Whereas when you building up that right hand, you put weights on that. And you put weight, you build it up so when you do throw it off that jab, Lord have mercy. They finished. They finished now. But if I would have known that to this day, I would never condition both of my arms to do the same thing. You can't condition both of your arms to do the same thing. One got to do one thing and one got to do the other. You feel me?
Absolutely.
So the box today, to make it short, work on that right, build that right up, make it strong, but don't let your left be as strong as your right because you're going to need that to keep working constantly. You want your jab to that's how a person can win a fight just off a jab. If you keep that joint going, keep it moving, and hook off of it. No, uppercuts, there's a lot of stuff you can do with that jab. It's a beautiful punch. This long story short, I had a guy that I sparred in the ring. He said, "Ben, could you please stop smacking me with that jab?" Because I wouldn't punch him. He said, "I'd rather you just punch me than smack me." I could do different things with that jab. I could paw you, I could smack you. And I would love to smack people because I could swell your face up and then I could start splitting it. So I would smack people for a while.
Oh, man, you ain't right, man. Go ahead.
I know I wasn't right, Slim. I wasn't right, Slim. That jab was beautiful. Most men don't want to get smacked. They rather get punched. Punch me, Slim. You feel me?
Yeah, punch me or something, man.
I was smacking them.
Hey, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, man. It really has.
Thank you for sharing this time and letting the world know a little bit about yourself. I do want to get you on again for another follow up.
Okay.
This is a good opportunity again to showcase some of the fighters that came up in our era. I want to keep this thing going. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate what you've contributed to the sport. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, the great Benjamin Mcdowell.
Thank you so much. All love. Much love. Peace.
DC Boxing Legend Podcast. 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 Home of the champ.